Hello, and welcome to episode 17 of the She.Must.Knit podcast. My name is Erin, and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys had a great week. I've had a really good week. You know why? It's my birthday week. That's right, last week I mentioned how Monday I was going to be having a birthday sale because Monday was my birthday. And we've been doing all kinds of little things this week, and it's just been a really, really nice week for me. Last Saturday, I went out for dinner with my husband and my daughter, and that was lovely. And then Monday, I went out for lunch and a bit of shopping with my aunt. Yesterday, we went up to Guelph to visit my godmother, Highburn, and we had a lovely, lovely day there. I got to go to a yarn shop, so that was fun. And then tomorrow I'm going to be going on a little yarn crawl with my friend as well. So it's just been a busy but very fun week. I hope you guys had a great week too. So what do I have for you today? Even with all that stuff, I still got some knitting done. So I have a finished object for you today. I have a work in progress that is halfway there. And I have some good progress on another project that I've been sharing with you. Usually I also have a collection, but I've got something a little different is happening this week. I do not have a collection, and I will explain why at the end. But instead, I am going to talk about a little bit of planning, a little project planning. Part of my birthday month plans is that I can do a purchase for my birthday. So I may have mentioned many episodes ago that my friend and I are doing a stash challenge this year, and so we are trying not to buy stash, and we have some rules in place where we can buy yarn. So certain things we can buy yarn, and one of them is we each get a purchase during our birthday month that is unlimited. So it has to be from one place, but we can get whatever we want. And I have been planning for this purchase for months because I want to make sure it's a good one. I want to make sure that it's stuff that I really want and what I can really use and that I don't already have. So I've been planning for this, and so we're going to talk a bit about that. So let's get started with my finished object. I'm going to have a quick sip of my tea. I'm back to iced tea. This is still the strawberry shortcake that I mentioned last week, but I have some new teas thanks to Bern. Thank you, Bern. For my birthday, she got me some new teas, so I am going to be trying those soon. But for today, it's strawberry shortcake. So we'll have a sip of that, and then we'll get right into my finished object. Guys, oh my gosh, I am so happy with this finished object. I'm sure you can guess what it is because last week I was basically done, and I told you that I probably didn't have much more to work on it before it'd be finished, and I was right. I think I finished it the very next day, like the majority of the knitting, and then I just had to do a little bit of, there really wasn't any seaming, but I had to do the shoulders, and then it was just picking up the edges and sewing in some ends and stuff like that. So it is done, and I have it here. This is my Daisy Girl tee. This is the test knit that I am doing for Stephanie Lotven, and I checked, and the test date ends, so we're supposed to have this project done by the end of the month, so July 31st. So I imagine that she is going to have this pattern available either by that date or maybe before if she gets all the information that she needs from the testers. But I am done. I did a size 6, and I am so happy with this. I was trying to use stash for this project, which is why it's a little crazy, but it's also a little crazy because my daughter Avery loves lots of different colors. She loves rainbows, so I was able to pull a rainbow skein from my stash. This is from Spunwear Over the Rainbow in the Rainbow Storm color, and I used about 72 grams of the, it was a 115 gram skein, so I used about 72 grams of that. If you remember, I used the rest of it to make a little doll sweater so that her doll would have kind of a matching sweater to her, but I used about 72 grams for the main color. And then the contrast colors, which come into play in the hem and then in the yoke, I used a whole bunch of mini skeins from my stash. So all in all, once I calculated everything, because when you do a test knit, they want to know how much yardage you use just so they know what to put in the pattern. I used approximately 15 grams from each 20-gram mini skein. So with one skein for the main color and 4 mini skeins, I had plenty of yarn for the size 6, and it fits her really well. At some point while I'm talking about this, I will pop in a picture of Avery modeling it for me. She always gives me a little bit of sass when I ask her to model her knitwear, but because it was my birthday week, she was like, you know, she was like, oh, tell me what you want for your birthday, Mommy. And I was like, you know what I want for my birthday? I want some pictures of your new sweater. And she was like, okay. So I got some pictures of her, and she loves to pose for her pictures. So it takes about 200 pictures to get, you know, a few of her standing still. But I got some really cute pictures of her in it. And I have to say, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I think I said that already, but I'm going to say it again. I really like how this turned out. I love the shaping of this. So when it's just hanging, it does look a little boxy, but you'll see when I put the picture of her in it, by doing the shaping like this so that there isn't really a sleeve, there was some short rows up here which kind of makes the shoulder slope a little bit, but it ends up making this area here just kind of give like kind of a natural sleeve. Like it's not a specific like set-in sleeve or a sleeve that you've knit separately and created, or you know the shaping's done. It's just kind of a natural falling off the shoulder sleeve. And then the armhole is a little oversized, but I think that helps with how the shoulder fits. And then also, like, she'll be able to wear this. It's fairly long on her, even though I did shorten the required length by almost an inch. It's a good length on her. The armholes are nice and roomy, so this area is not going to get too small on her anytime soon. This is going to be able to fit her until she basically doesn't want to wear it anymore, and I really, really love that. I don't know if you can see, but this was done on larger needles. If you can see, it's kind of, you can kind of see the light, see right there, you can see the light through it. So it was done on a larger gauge, 4mm needles on a fingering weight yarn. So even though it's a wool nylon blend, she's been wearing this for, like, she wore it to the park the other day, especially at night when it's just a little bit cooler. She's been able to wear it this summer and not, you know, be overheated. Obviously, she's not going to wear it, like, if it's 40+ degrees, but with the looser gauge, I think it's a really wearable summer garment. And then in the fall, it's still a little bit warm. And then I think she'll be able to layer it. Like, we'll have to see how it looks layered, but I think it's going to be a really versatile garment, so I'm very pleased with this. I also really love how many possibilities there are in terms of colors. Like, you could do this whole thing in just one color, and I think it would be adorable. You could do multiple colors. I've got 3, so there's the pale pink here. In between the purple stripe, there's a variegated pink, but you could do that all one color with just the accent and the striping, and you could do this all one color and not accent there, just do this one color, this one color. There's so many options that you could have fun with, and I think it's a great stash buster. That's what I did, and I really like the result. So yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about that. I will probably post a picture of her wearing it again on my Instagram when the pattern is released, so that if you follow me there and you are interested in this pattern, you will see when it's released. Otherwise, if you just want to know and you don't follow me, follow Telly B Knits, Stephanie Lotven. She posts really great things. She does really great kid knits. So yeah, if you want to know when this is released, I would suggest doing that. Up next, I have my progress on my Q-Train socks by Mina Phillip. These socks are the ones I've been working on for my friend, and I've been showing them the last 2 weeks or so, and I am enjoying my progress on these. I have finished a whole sock this week. Now, granted, I Kitchenered the toe this afternoon, so it's taken me all week to finish this one sock up, but I think it's still going really well, especially since, if you'll remember, this stitch pattern has not necessarily been my friend. It's not horrible, but it's a little troublesome to do. It doesn't flow well on the needles, especially the last stitch. For some reason, the last stitch on the needle when you're doing the front row there, I have a little trouble with that. But I'm going to push through because I really, really like how this texture stitch pattern looks with the striping yarn. I think it just adds some interest, but it doesn't take away from the striping. And sometimes when you do a pattern sock with self-striping yarn, it takes over the striping effect, and it doesn't allow the stripes and the color changes to really shine. So I'm happy with how this looks. So as a reminder, I am doing the main color of these socks is White Birch Fiber Arts in the color Hope, and then for my toes and my cuffs, I used a Luette mini gem that I over dyed to kind of coordinate with this yarn, and I really like how they look together. The reason I chose this pattern, again, is because I was looking to do a top-down pattern to finish a square on my bingo box, and I knew Mina Phillip has lots of patterns, and I wanted something that was also going to be easy but textural to bring around to the library, and I knew that's something that she had. I've been loving the German short row heel lately, and I knew she used that, and then I also wanted to try her mini heel flap adjustment. So I have done that here. This is the German short row heel with the mini heel flap adjustment, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I tried these on, and I took a picture, and I'll pop it in, because I wanted to try and get a really close-up shot for you and just kind of show you what's what. So like where the heel flap adjustment kind of happens, and just the different areas of the heel, so that if you want to try a German short row heel, or if you already do the German short row heel but are wondering about her adjustment, just the difference that it makes. So I would do this again in another pair. What I really liked about her patterns, now even though I have said that this stitch pattern I find a little difficult to do, I would still really recommend checking out her patterns. They are very reasonably priced for the amount of information that she gives you, and she writes a really, really thorough pattern. So now that I have the second sock to start, I am going to try something new just to see if I can make this stitch pattern a little more enjoyable to do. I just mentioned how yesterday I was up in Guelph, and we did a little shopping, and while we were there I popped into the All Strung Out yarn shop, and I couldn't buy any yarn because that wasn't part of my rules, but I was able to buy some needle accessories. And one of the things I've been loving with sock knitting this new year has been using the Chiaogu Mini Twists interchangeable sock needles. They have changed my sock knitting. I always considered myself a fairly fast sock knitter, and up until this point I loved using the Haya steels, not the sharps because they hurt my fingers, but I've used the steels and I found those to be a very quick needle. And then I love trying new needles, and so I tried these, and oh, I swear I knit faster on these things. So I only have one pair currently, or up until this point I've only had one pair, and I've always used them for my monthly DVD sock knitting because I need those to go fast. I need to finish them in a month. But while I was up in Guelph and we went into the yarn shop, they had the tips and the cords for the mini twist needles. So I picked up an extra cord. I already had, when I did my original order at Acme Fibers for my first set, I did order 2 needle tips and then the 1 cord. So I already had some tips, but I ordered an extra cord so that I can make a second set of needles for doing socks, and I am going to use them on this pair and just see with the second sock if switching to those needles will help just it go a little faster and help with this stitch, because I was using originally the I think I was using the Hayas on these, and I think just having a slightly sharper tip, so not as sharp as the Haya sharps, but the Chiaogu Mini Twist tips, I think I have them here. See, I don't have them out of the package, but I don't know if you can see those. So there we go. The Haya Mini Twist tips are sharper than the steels, but not as sharp as the sharps, and I think that they might just help with this stitch. So I am going to get those needles set up. I am going to cast on the second sock, and next week I will be able to report back and let you know if it made any difference, because I really, really do like the finished look of this sock, but the process of it is a little it's a little annoying. You know, that stitch is a little annoying, but I really do love how it looks, and I would recommend checking out her her library of patterns. I think she has some really good ones. So yes, I finished a sock. Yay! Yay for birthday week knitting. The last project I have to share with you is the progress that I have made on my Santa pillows. So I am trying to get these done. My goal for July was just to start them. These are pillows that I want to have done for Christmas, the end of this year, and I knew I wanted to start them this month and just get them going. And then I explained on my last episode how I didn't want to do each pillow with the front and back, the motifs, the Santa motifs on the front and back, but I didn't want to do the color work flat. So what I'm doing is I'm doing it in the round, I'm doing the motifs on the front and back, but I am going to be steeking it at the end so that when I am done the knitting part, I will have the 2 panels that I will then put some fabric backing on, and I will have 2 pillows done after just knitting the one, essentially the one project, but I'll get 2 finished objects. So I have made a little progress. Last week I just had the cast on, I had like 3 rows, and I've been able to do a little bit of knitting. So this is what I have. And it still doesn't look like much. I was hoping to get to the Santas, but hey, I was doing stuff this week. We had a busy week. But this is how much I've got done. So I kind of got, I think these are the beards. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these are the beards. So I'm getting into the beards, and I think within a few rows I will be starting the little Santa faces. But there's a lot of rows for this stitch pattern. So yeah, this is how much I've got done. And I've got, when it's all bunched up, it looks a little bit like, you know, a bowl of spaghetti there with all these strands. But I am trying to do them very, very loose as I do my color work. I have mentioned before about color work. Color work is not really my thing. I've learned that there are certain things about color work I enjoy and certain things that I do not enjoy. I like color work when it's no more than 2 colors on a row, and preferably when there's no more than, say, 3 to 5 stitches between color changes, because I do not like catching my floats. I don't like it. It takes away the enjoyment of the process for me. So with these, I decided there are some really, really large floats, which is why when it's all bunched up, it just looks all like crazy and strandy. But I decided, because these are going to be pillows, and once they are done, there is going to be a pillow form on the back of this, and it's really not like, there's really no concern about things getting caught in these because it's like home decor. I decided not to catch my floats. I don't enjoy catching floats, and so I decided not to catch floats. But because of that, I am making a very conscious effort as I knit that I am not pulling my yarns across the new color with it all bunched up, because then it's going to pucker. So I am making sure that when I get to the section where I'm pulling the new color across, that is very stretched out, so that the floats will be nice and loose, and then hopefully once it's all steeked and everything, I don't think you will notice all these loosey-goosey strands. And then right here, you can see this is my steeking panel. So on either side of the 2 sides, so I've cast on the full amount, and then on each half, or between each half, I've added a steeking panel. So there's one here and there's one on the other side. And so I am just going to be, once I've got both of my sides knit up all the way to the end, or to the size that I want, this is where I am going to be cutting down to separate my panels. And I've done steeking once before on a sweater that I made for Avery. It was written as a pullover, but I decided to make it a zipped up cardigan. And that was on a wool yarn, and usually with steeking, it's preferable to do it on 100% wool because the yarn won't quickly unravel. It kind of stays in place. This is 100% acrylic, so this is the Bernat Super Saver, or no, it's that Red Heart Super Saver. This is Bernat Super Value. They all sound the same. But yeah, it's 100% acrylic, and so I wanted to give myself lots of room for these strands to maneuver, I guess. So I did it over 8 stitches, and my plan is to sew with my sewing machine, so those stitches are locked down, down the side of each center stitch. So like I'll probably sew like say here all the way up and down with my sewing machine, and then on the other side all the way up and down with my sewing machine, and then or with 2 in the middle. Yeah, I'm going to sew like with 2 stitches between and then cut in the middle. And I'm hoping that way with the thread catching it that it'll be locked in. But we will see how that goes. I know a couple of you have mentioned in the comics that you really like this project and you're considering starting them too, and so I will, yeah, I'll be your guinea pig. I'll see if this works and if I can get two pillow fronts out of one knitted project. So we'll see how that goes. So finally, before I go into what's going on with the collection this week, I wanted to talk about my shopping plans. I am so excited. I am so excited. So a couple of weeks ago, I showed you some patterns, some pattern highlights that I had seen on Ravelry recently, and they have just inspired me. I keep thinking about them, and so I have decided that with my birthday purchase this month, I am going to order the yarn so that I can make both the summer line kind of tank or tee. It's kind of in between. It's got kind of cap sleeve. So let's just say the summer line tee and the Girona top. I really want to make both of those, and so I am going to order the yarn for both of those. I have thought long and hard about what I have in my stash and if I have anything that will work. And I did have one yarn that I thought was going to work for the summer line tee, but in the end I decided, you know what, yes, I could make that pattern with that yarn that I had, but I didn't have enough to probably make it as long as I want, and the color wasn't exactly something that I would wear. And we've discussed this before with garments. If it's not going to fit into my wardrobe, like in terms of the color, or if it's not going to fit in terms of the style, like I know what kind of length I like, I'm probably not going to wear it, and then all that work will be for nothing. So I've just decided I'm going to really think about how these tops will fit in with my wardrobe and what colors would work best, what colors I know I will wear, and I am going to order the yarn to make both of those. And as soon as I get some of these projects, so maybe like the Q-train socks, because obviously the yarn is going to take time to come, I'm going to try and finish up some projects so that when the yarn arrives, I can cast one of those tees on. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing the summer line in a linen blend yarn. I'm going to see if I can make like a little picture collage so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I found some yarns. I'm going to be making my birthday purchase through woolwarehouse.uk.co or something like that. It's a British site, and the reason I chose that is because they have a really great selection of yarn that I knew I could get, you know, a couple garments worth of. And we don't in Canada here tend to get charged customs from UK sellers. Very often, if something comes in over a certain amount from the US, we get dinged for customs. I have yet to have a package get dinged for customs coming from the UK, so I didn't want to take that chance, so I picked up a site based in the UK. And Wool Warehouse I have ordered from before. I had a very good experience, and they have yarns that will work for these patterns. So yeah, I'm going to order a linen blend for the summer line, and I'm thinking in a really, really nice emerald green. I love wearing emerald, like not forest emerald, but like, you know, that nice kind of borderline teal emerald, so it's kind of green, kind of blue. I find that is a very flattering color on me, and they actually had lots of beautiful colors in this yarn line. So I'm aiming for that emerald, but I might go for a teal, I don't know, we'll see. But that's what I'm thinking. And then the Girona top. I've really been wanting, I don't have anything in my wardrobe like this that is kind of like a, not straight black, but like kind of a deep gray. And recently on Instagram I saw, I don't know if it was in like the sponsored posts where it's something that they think, you know, the targeted ads, or if someone that I follow posted it. But there's this stone-washed line of yarn, and someone posted the full color range of this yarn, and I was just like, oh, those are gorgeous colors. And then the other thing that really jumped at me with these colors is that they weren't solid, but they weren't variegated. They were almost like a marl, a two-tone marl. And I thought that would work really well, where it would be interesting to knit but still very wearable. And so I had a look at that color line, and Wool Warehouse carries that line, and they have so many gorgeous colors. So I'm thinking for the Girona top, I want to get the onyx color, which is almost like a deep charcoal kind of black marl, and then pick out a pop of color for that contrast color in the where it's just along the top. And maybe you get a turquoise or an aqua or something like that, because I really like how that top is reversible, so that I could wear it so that it's just kind of like the dark gray at the front, or I could flip it and have that pop of color depending on what I'm wearing. So that is my plans. Let me know what you think about that. I'm very excited. I've been waiting all year to make my birthday purchase, so let me know what you think. And if you're planning, I know some other people have said that they really like those top patterns too. Are you thinking of making them? Maybe we can do like a little knit along or something, like a little tea knit along, because the color work at Cal is ending at the end of the month, which I forgot to mention. So I am making my Santa pillows for the color work at Cal, which is in the Bling Strung group. But yeah, if once that Cal's done, like we could maybe do a summer tea Cal or something. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, so that's my shopping plans. Those are all my knitting progress this week. So the only thing left I have to talk about is the collection. And this is the first time since I've started this podcast that I do not have a collection for you. Last week I showed you a choice between some Big Bang Theory fabric and it was some Star Wars fabric. And at the time of prepping my yarn and getting that all ready, because I am getting ready to dye, and cutting the fabrics and stuff, I have started that. It was the Big Bang Theory who was in the lead. So that is what I am going with. But then I had an idea. So I was ordering some fabric in from one of the sites that I really like. And they had a whole bunch that I thought would pair really well with the Big Bang Theory fabric, just in terms of theme and the whole science, geeky thing that they have going on. And I decided that because I also have more than my usual amount of that Big Bang fabric, that I wanted to do a bigger collection. And I wanted the accent fabrics to be very specific. So I didn't want to just go through my scrap stash and find some stuff that could work. I wanted it to be stuff that really pulled the collection together. Like I said, those scientific kind of fabrics. So I did order those. They will arrive very shortly, and then I will be working on a bigger collection. So because I have more fabric, I can probably do more sizes than just the usual wee sidekicks or sidekicks that I usually do for the collections. So I wanted to know, are there any sizes of bags or types of bags that you would like to see for this collection? Would you like to see some drawstring bags for this? Would you like to see like the sidekick, the bigger size? Because I haven't started all of the cutting yet, and I'm still waiting for those other fabrics, I have a little leeway. So let me know what you guys would like to see for this collection, because it is going to be a bigger one, and I'm hoping it will be ready for my next episode. I am very excited about it. I've got all kinds of yarn soaking for it. I'm thinking of doing some of these sock sets, like deluxe sock sets with the 2 minis and some skeins and some blanks and stuff. So it's going to be a sizable collection, and I think it's going to turn out really, really cute. I hope you guys are excited to see what I come up with for it as well. So that is all I have to talk about this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you had a fantastic week and are planning a wonderful weekend with lots of knitting. I have a busy weekend, and hopefully I will get some knitting done too. We will see. Dennis has a lot of soccer this weekend, so I have Avery almost the whole weekend. And knitting doesn't always happen, so we'll see what happens next week. I will see you then. Again, I hope you have a wonderful week. I will talk to you soon. Bye.